like, oh, this show's
Yeah.
canceled or whatever, but
Yeah, yeah.
not like, oh, the details of how many people are dead or whatever.
And we're live.
Okay. Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Uh-oh, internal server error. What the heck?
Oh, Ben.
Hold on, let me see what's going on. Okay, there it is. It's connecting. Connecting to the YouTubes. It says live now, right?
It does.
Meeting is now streaming.
It does.
Let me make sure we have our chat going here so we can
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome from summer. Summer is here, I think.
Oh, it is. It is here.
Yeah, for sure.
Summer is here with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another Toy Geeks Live behind our desks, or our garage, or our kitchen. Today, we're bringing you 2 Scots for the price of none.
What a deal.
We're very cheap guests.
I was waiting to say that so much.
Jeez.
Hey, guys. We have Scott Tolleson and Scott Zilner joining us. Can you guys say hello to everyone?
After you, Scott.
Oh, hello, everyone.
Hi,
Now it's your turn. No,
I'm Scott Zilner, and that's not me on the other one.
Okay, great. Just so you guys know, we are checking the chat. So if you are watching this live on the Toy Geeks network on YouTube, you can see that we have a chat, and I'm going to write, hey, everyone, just so everyone knows that we are listening to you guys. And if you have any questions during the show, we are more than happy to answer them for you guys. And I think we just got Kevin to join in. He has to, of course, get his bag of Cheetos. That's the rule. And there we
Hey, Kevin.
Hey,
go. So
Cheetos ready.
Yes. Yes. You're working on that sponsorship money, aren't you, Kevin?
I mean, that's the goal, man. What else am I gonna do sitting at home?
So Stoley Art over there. He's Scott. You've been joining us for a couple of weeks on and off now. Thanks for coming back.
yeah, for sure.
Just how's everything going? What are you up to? Last time we spoke to you, you were telling us that there were a couple of changes at Disney, but you're going to be working on some stuff, and you had your Dunny release. How did that go?
So it went really well. So I did like a micro run of the Shard resin Dunnies.
Do you have one to show?
Yeah, I have one back here actually. So I think it was an edition of 30 pieces. What's really weird, and I still can't figure out how this happened, but I tested the PayPal link on my store, but I didn't put it where it was being released. I hit it like in a different post, and I was releasing them at 10 a.m. So at 9:58, I got 2 PayPal notifications of payment.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know, like, I guess you can track people's sites and when they post and everything. They were like 2 separate people.
It's a bot. That's how it was. It was scanned to your website.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird because it threw me off because I was like at my keyboard ready to just hit enter to go for sale, and 2 of them like sold, and I was like, oh, what's going on? Like, so anyways, they sold out in like 1 refresh.
And now you can find them on eBay and StockX if you want them.
Someone did find one on eBay for 400, which is pretty.
Wow.
What was the retail on those, by the way?
What's that?
What was the retail on those?
60. Yeah. So this is one
8
of them. Right?
times.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good if it sells.
Yeah, for sure. I can't complain. I'm not doing anything else. So
Yeah, that was just I watched a little bit of the Decon Live. I had Nicole, the Baroness, she used to do all that, and it was a bunch of older toys from Kiroba, and they talked about the message board about the flipping days.
Oh God.
And I'm like, and then somebody commented, flipping is now a religion. It's the way of life, right?
I just
So
remember
it's like,
board being a total shit.
Right.
Show. That's the way I'm gonna put it. So
I mean, it was
yeah,
that was those fun days.
yeah.
Those were the 2005, 2006.
And thanks for showing our age, Kevin.
But I was the kid lining up.
Speaking of
Jack
old
knows.
people, we have
You're still
another
a kid.
Scott in the chat with us, Mr. Scott Zilner, everyone.
I shaved my head, you know.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
I'm old anyway. What's up, Scott? Finally got you on here. Remember all those times you were texting like when can when we're taping, when we're filming? Now, okay, fine, we're taping every week now. You don't have to drive 2 hours from your house.
Scott's been on a couple of episodes in the studio, and it's good to have you back live. Can you tell us where are you at right now? Where are you working? What are you doing these days?
I've been a pretty regular painter for Sideshow and their Unruly line, and I just finished another wave of projects that will be coming out later from Sideshow. So I think I've got like 16 or 18 already done by Sideshow and Unruly.
Wow! By any chance, did you work on any of the Kano pieces?
Yeah, actually, I've done, or my studio's done all 4 of his. Yeah.
Wow, those are awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get those.
Excellent.
Him, Tracy, and Poopbird I'm kind of like their exclusive painters at this point.
Oh, those are cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Tracy's DC figures as well.
Yeah, those are some of my most favorite ones. Like next to the cute kaiju that we did with Poopbird, I like the DC stuff. Not to say that like Thanos or Deadpool or Spider-Man aren't nice pieces. I just really like the Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. That Trinity nice. Really hits with the visual cues that he did for design work on it.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait for Kanos because you know why? Because those are our badges.
Yeah, those were our badges.
When he first told me that he submitted that, I'm like, can we have some Decon exclusives? Come on.
Well, it's really, this is one thing that kind of bothers me about the Sideshow releases. And I don't know how the rest of you guys feel about it, but the figures are amazing and I love them and I can't wait till they come out. But the problem is they show them and then they give us the date of like March 3050 or something like that. I'm like,
they have a lot of stuff in production in the queue and delivery time, and that's just how it goes. I mean, they're upfront and honest about it, like Super 7 is. They're like, hey, buy this figure now, and in 9 months we'll ship it to you. And then like 6 months later, people are like, where the hell is my toy? And we're like, we told you 9 months. Yeah, but it's already been 6 months. Where's my toy? People, there's a point of letting people know exactly how long stuff takes. And then when people really comprehend how long something takes to get made, they're very upset. You almost want to be like McFarlane, where he'll be like, hey guys, here's this new toy. It's out now. Like it's already at Walmart's. Now we're showing it to you. Like they hide their stuff and then show it.
I like that stuff. I like not being told what's being worked on. I like the whole like, hey, here's the toy. It's coming out in 3 days. It's coming out in a month. It's coming out like
but that's not how a lot of companies can work with fronting something that large, or like Super 7 when it's made to order. Like they're making exactly so many Snake Mountains as people order, and then a small buffer for a breakage. And then that's it, and once they come out, they're already worth more money because there's always one guy like Kevin that didn't buy it when it came out. And then he wants it once it comes out, he's got to pay double.
Wait, I should be the ones buying. I should be the one selling all those. Remember all those 3/8 crap I have?
Yeah.
all the pre-orders I did at Frankenstein's.
Nice.
Hey, those are the days that Ben buys from me. Those were the days that Gino buys from me. Those were the days that
everyone bought from you.
Monkey King. Patrick was buying
Yeah.
from me, you know, and then when it hits, Frankenstein's already double the price.
And that's the way the market works. And
Right.
as long as you're aware of that and you pre-order accordingly, you're okay. But there's always those guys that wait to the last minute and then they're upset that something's going for more money. And that's the way the market is. They're not making extras like they used to. We're not getting allocations like we used to get for toys, or much less collectibles in the statue market.
Right. So aside from working on the sideshow stuff, Scott, before we move on to looking at toys and all that stuff, a lot of people know you from the convention world. You run Power Morphicon, which is one of the largest. Actually, it's one of the largest conventions out there too. You have a huge crowd.
It's a really big convention for a niche market.
Right.
You know, I would say
small shows.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like, you know, there's, you know, Star Wars creation is just huge. Star Wars and creation for their Star Trek shows. Then like the next niche show is Power Rangers. You know, the Power Morphicon is the third largest niche convention, which our conventions are bigger than Transformers or G.I. Joe.
So how has, first of all, I guess two-part question. One, have you had to cancel any shows currently? And two, how, for the shows that are upcoming, how do you see like moving forward with everything that's going on?
I mean, as a convention promoter yourself, you know it's really tricky. We've been trying to guess how things are going to go in 9 months. And we're 6 months from that 9 months, and everything's changed every day. Not like every week or every month. Every day, the entire landscape completely changes again. I have postponed Robo Toy Fest, which was in June. I moved that to December. Now, even in December, it's a small show. We do just over 1,000 people, so we could still get away with an event under current rules. We have Morphicon, which is September. That's a big show. The governors kicked those shows out. You know, as of right now, I can't book that show and successfully think it will go through in September. So I've moved that show to June of next year.
So you're saying that even though that show is in September, I mean, we've had cancellation of shows for June and July.
Yes.
August is supposed to be, we've talked about this Star Wars celebration.
I know, but for me, I don't have the money Star Wars does to just bank a cancellation. Like we paid our stuff out. We can't be up into August and then find out we can't do a show next month. There's too much hotel bookings. There's too many guest travel arrangements. There's too many people flying in or driving in, and they need to know well in advance how to plan that time out.
So do you feel that shows in August and September, even the larger ones like Celebration, will get canceled, or do you think there is still a chance that they may happen?
You don't know. I mean, what happens in like the end of June and the governor says, nope, you're all good. Here's a vaccine. Go get your stamp at Walgreens and you're good to go.
Right.
You know,
and actually,
you don't know how things are going to change. I'm going to bet my money the safest way possible and just forward everything to next year. We're on for next year. All my convention date is set and moved over. My hotel blocks will be moved over. Everyone can change their travel, and we can all bet on the new date that's better than a maybe. I'm not going to take a maybe.
What do you think about a show that might be happening, let's say, middle of November?
Again, I'm betting on it. I'm betting that your show will be the first show out of this haze. Oh. You know, like the first show out of the storm, and it will be fantastic because everyone will be hungry for a convention. You know,
please.
That's
music
and
to
that's
Ben's
what you
ears.
have to do. I mean, I have shows in October.
Mm-hmm.
I have another show and 2 small shows in September, and I'm waiting to see. Into July, into August. If I have to postpone those shows to next year, I do. I just move them to the next year.
Last question for all of you guys in regards to the whole trade show thing. There's, let's say, for me, 2 shows that are happening in August are Star Wars Celebration and then Licensing Expo. One of them is in Anaheim. One of them is in Las Vegas. Question for all of you guys. Let's say the shows happen. Would you go?
So
I'm going to go.
Yeah, I have tickets to Celebration. And it's hard for me to say right now if I'm going to go or not. I can add that Newsom just recently announced that there's 4 stages to the reopening. Stage 4 is actually conventions. So that's any like large gatherings, which would include like conventions, concerts, and all that. So to get more of an idea of when conventions will probably come back on would be to follow the 3 stages in front of that. So I think that's a better way to gauge, when we'll be able to have large gatherings again. But I don't think, honestly, I don't know sitting here today that I could positively say I would go to Celebration because of like what Scott said, like things are changing from day to day. So, and I think people's mentality is changing from day to day. So like I could wake up today and be just like, oh, you know what? This is all overblown and like no big deal. I'm just going to go out and enjoy my life. And then tomorrow it could be like, whoa, I just heard that so-and-so has this coronavirus and like all these kind of horror stories. So I think you just have to kind of feel it out. It's still kind of weird.
Yeah.
What about for you, Jack? Jack, you actually travel a lot.
Oh, well, yeah, I did last year. I went to several shows last year. I was in China like 3 times, Thailand once, something like that. It was awesome. But, honestly, not to be a naysayer, but I don't think there's any way Celebration's going to happen. That just seems, especially given what Scott was saying about the governor, and he's made it really clear that I think the thing Scott didn't mention and that I think I saw was that the 4th stage or the last thing to open up, right, are like large venues like concerts and conventions. But also, I seem to remember he's not putting times on stuff, but he kind of said for the 4th one, we're talking about like conventions, that only really happens unless you have an effective therapeutic or a vaccine. And that's not good news. That's unlikely going to happen in August. That seems really unlikely.
Well, let's see.
I'm holding up for November for obvious reasons, but
Good, I like that.
August seems.
too.
There was an announcement actually done a couple of hours today across the news networks, if you guys are watching, but there supposedly was a treatment that is being tested right now. They gave it to over 1,000 individuals across different parts of the world, and they tested it against a placebo.
Is that the Gilead one?
What is it?
Is that it has a complicated name, but is that the one that's manufactured by Gilead?
Something like that, I believe so.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and it's so, hopefully.
Maybe. Fingers crossed, right?
Fingers crossed, guys. All right, enough.
Well, that's what I say. I mean, stuff can change tomorrow,
Right.
and however it is today. So it's really hard to bet that far in advance.
Yeah, it's super hard
I'm
to
certainly
plan.
betting on DesignerCon for November.
Yeah, it's the preparation time, like we need to know too. Like Ben and I, every day we talk about this is how much preparation time do we have?
Yeah, even though your show may be in October, or August, you have to have marketing dollars in the works. And if you have a show in August, you have to be doing it now.
And it's also our responsibility to tell the artists and vendors Scott, we're doing this, you have to make stuff for the show, right? We can't tell you in October, hey, we're going to have DesignerCon, make your stuff in a month and a half.
Right.
That's not going to happen. Not all the artists can crank out prints. Not all the artists have, they're not all from here. They're from Asia. They're from all over the world. Stuff needs to be shipped. Now, containers and EMS is taking over a month.
But the good thing is
it's beyond that for Japan. Japan Post is completely shut down.
Yeah, they're not shipping anything out.
Third-party people or third-party companies to ship to the United States. But the good news is that people, you know, like what Scott Zilner said, it's like people are excited about the possibility of a show in November. So,
Well, yeah, I think that's absolutely true.
We're the new hope.
Yeah.
The new hope.
So let's talk about some new toys, guys, because you know we are the Toy Geeks. I'm going to start with the guests, guys. Scott, have you guys gotten anything new to in the last, you know, whatever couple of days or couple of weeks that you want to talk about? You want to show off to people?
Yeah, let me go grab. I'll be right back.
While Scott T is going to grab his show and tell, we were mentioning it earlier. I have 3 new pieces with Sideshow Unruly, which is Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, designed by Tracy Trubera.
Yep.
Trubera, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all 3 of those are up for available for pre-order, and I believe they come in like July. So they were supposed to be here for like Comic-Con.
Oh wow! I know that they actually showed them off at DesignerCon 2000.
Yeah.
And they were
those were actually my painted samples at DesignerCon.
Oh,
they were very nice.
Yeah. Unruly, about half the booth was me at Unruly. So it was pretty nice.
Great.
Have you made any recent purchases of toys?
I slowed down for the first month, and now I'm starting to loosen up a little bit.
There you go.
I recently, you can see behind me, there's a Superpowers Flash. Those Gentle Giant, like 12-inch figures they were doing of Superpowers. I've already bought every other Superpower, so now like those are the only things I don't have, and so I'm starting to like want these giant Superpowers figures that are impossible to find. So that makes it fun for me, and you know, I have to hunt for those a little harder.
Nice. Scott, are you back with what you got?
I am back. So this one I picked up a couple days ago. I had to do an essential run to Target. So I still haven't opened it yet, but it's the Wonder Woman from 1984 multiverse figure. Nice. I just love, I'm really excited about this movie. I really like the first one, but also I just love this costume. I mean, it reminds me of like Flash, like, you know, it's straight from like the 70s, 80s kind of vibe to it. So, you know, I don't know much about the story because I don't want to be spoiled, but so I picked that up. And then the thing I received yesterday in Z-mail was Boba Fett Lego helmet. So I'll be.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it just came out. I'll be making this tonight. Really excited about it.
Are you going to do a time lapse of it?
No, I'm going to, you know, that's a good idea. Maybe I will. I didn't think about that, but.
Then give us the video and we can play it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll enjoy making this. And the other thing
How much was that, Scott?
Ben's buying it right now. He's on Lego.
Ben's making a central run.
And don't quote me on this, but I want to say 60 or 70.
And is it available like on Lego.com?
Yeah, yeah. I ordered mine from Lego. You can get it on Amazon too. And it literally just came out. They came out with Boba Fett, Stormtrooper, and X-Wing pilot.
How big are they? Like they're not life size, right?
8.5 inches. No.
Pretty big.
No, it's 8.5 inches.
8.5 is like this big.
That's still big, yeah.
Yeah.
Does that include the base though in that measurement?
You know, yeah, it does.
Wow.
It includes the base to the top of that right there, the sensor thing. The other thing I got that's still in the box, so it's funny because this also just released, was the Black Series Boba Fett helmet. It's like the life size one. So like, they came out with a Vader one and a Stormtrooper one. Probably some other ones.
Is that the Mattel or Hasbro? Which one is it?
Hasbro.
It's a Hasbro one. We should probably be getting those in too, no?
Yeah, we'll probably get those at the 3D Retro store. We usually get a couple of each one.
Very late, maybe 2 months later.
Yeah, it's funny because yesterday I actually got both of those in the mail. It was like a Boba Fett helmet day, so it was kind of fun. So yeah, those are my goodies. Again, looking forward to sitting down and like, I don't know, watching maybe Rise and making this Boba Fett helmet tonight.
Nice.
That's my excitement.
I need to
Sounds pretty good to
It's
me.
on Disney Plus
Yeah.
today.
Rise is May
Oh, right.
4th. Yeah.
May 4th, aren't they releasing the entire Skywalker saga?
Yeah, some of them are already on there. Most of them are, but I think Rise of Skywalker and maybe Jedi, or
Well,
I think The Last Jedi's on there, I think,
I
right?
think what's happening is they've announced that May 4th, you can basically get all the movies 1 through 9.
Yeah, this saga.
And because of that, Apple announced today that you can buy the entire saga at a very special price on Apple TV. So, kind of have to put that on
Yeah.
sale. You can watch it for free on Disney Plus.
But are they actually the original versions that people want?
No, of course.
No.
Only Scott Zilner has those on VHS in his cave over there.
I actually have
Technically, I have them on both VHS and Laserdisc.
Oh shit!
I have the despecialized version on Blu-ray that you can't get anymore that are
What?
amazing. Yeah.
What? How? What?
Some guy went and
Yeah.
I don't even remember the story. I got them a couple years ago, but he put them on Blu-ray and they're the despecialized.
So wait, they're bootlegs.
They're amazing. They're not released from the studio, but they are. That's all I watch. I only watch those.
They're not
Hold on.
official.
Hold on.
They're bootlegs. Hey,
Although
the last
arguably they're bootlegs, but they're truer to the original movies than the current official movies. So hey,
so while the DVD sucklord over there goes to pick up his bootleg,
DVD sucklord.
Jack or Kevin, did you guys buy anything lately during this last week?
Yeah, I have something. Well, I didn't really buy it. So there's this company and they said, hey, we can send you these. And I was like, oh, sure. So
Nice.
it came from Korea. The shipping was a little slow. Not that I cared one way or the other, but just in terms of the world. So there's a company called, we'll call it Rollies. It's a Korean company and they make these sort of retro art toy cars. So they're based on, so this one is called Spinner. It's based on some car I haven't heard of, small retro car called the TG 500, which was a German car. And it's got like a little character inside, right? And stylized. It's kind of like shaped around him as if he lives inside of it, which is pretty neat. These are resin. And so that comes in, you saw the display case, but if you unscrew it from the bottom of the display case, you have a car that works completely on its own. It's got little spinny wheels. This is Scooter. It's based on the British Scooter car, which I guess was big in the 50s and 60s. So it's a really neat stylized concept. One of the things was when I first started writing about these, which was, I don't know, sometime last year, they had these beautiful photos, right? It's gleamy and it's like, oh, that's got to be a render, right? What does it look like? Do these actually exist? But really the polish on these is kind of something to behold. It's pretty neat. So yeah.
Do you know how much they go for?
I do. So this is their smaller series. They originally started at 1/18th scale, and these are 1/24th. It's about 3.5 inches tall. These are really affordable. They go for about $59. So pretty cool. So these are Rollies out of Korea.
Very cool. Very nice.
Yeah. Oh, and the series 2 that isn't, sorry, Ben, that isn't out yet. Most of these in series 1 were sort of European based, and the new ones are going to be American based. So they've been showing like an Impala, which is kind of cool. So yeah.
I would be more interested if they got like an artist involved somehow with that. Like,
yeah, I can see that. Maybe they will.
Maybe. Scott, do you want to show off your bootleg DVDs that you?
So what they did is the guy went through and he put like the original poster covers in the back on all of these and like totally made them like professional. And it was funny because I can't remember how I came about this. I think maybe one of the Star Wars fan sites or something, and they're basically like, okay, if you guys want these, go get them now because this guy's probably going to get shut down. So I went and ordered them, not expecting much. And like you can go on, if you go on YouTube and look up despecialized Star Wars, there's like this whole, like, he spent years on just kind of like, you know, making these crisp and like playing with the color and everything. So he got really involved with it. And you know, when I put them in and I was like, wow, like these are what I remembered as a kid. So yeah, anytime I get a hankering for the original trilogy, I throw these in and watch them. I don't go to Disney Plus or anything like that. I want to see the original ones. So, but anyways, again, look up despecialized Star Wars on YouTube and you'll see the qualities there. It's really good.
The old man edition.
Yeah.
The true edition.
Kevin, did you get anything new this week?
No, I don't really buy toys right now anymore.
Oh, that's very
My thing is
sad.
sneakers.
All right, well, let's move on to the next segment, which let's visit Vinyl Pulse.
What?
That's the new segment.
If you guys don't know, Vinyl Pulse is a great source to get all your news of upcoming things. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and share with you some of the upcoming things that we see here on Vinyl Pulse, and then we can discuss it because, you know, we are the Toy Geeks. We have.
Oh, actually, I want that. Let's discuss it. I want that staple one.
So let's. Okay, so this is the thing that Kevin's talking about.
I was gonna hit you up to see if we can get some posters.
This is the second color in the Jeff Staple
Ron English
with Ron English grin, released by Mighty Jacks. The full color version, which actually got notified that 3D Retro got the shipment in. So
nice.
These online, the full color version's online, and next week I'll bring one onto the show. But
I want to buy one of those, Ben, from you.
I need one too.
This color a lot more. So, I mean, Scott, you're a painter. You do this a lot. The other Scott, you guys make the toys. You guys are both familiar with Ron English. What do you guys think of this collaboration?
I find it hard to tell that pigeon from a regular New York pigeon.
That's what they look like.
Yeah, I mean they'll pull a knife on you and take your wallet.
Are you a Ron English fan, or?
I like his stuff. He's brought a real interesting twist to a lot of.
I can see myself liking this.
He brings an interesting twist to anything that he touches, and you would think, oh, it's just going to be a pigeon, and look how he turned a pigeon into something else, so dramatically yet so easy.
Cool.
Yeah, that's really dope.
I like what's there, but I want to see the entire thing. I mean, I want to see different angles and stuff. But
Vinyl Pulse does not provide images, multiple images.
Actually, on the blog there are multiple images.
We are going to your Instagram.
Okay, that's cool. That
we
seems
have
like a good idea.
we have to get back to that Fool's Paradise Kobe piece too when we're done.
Oh yeah, I am livid. Let's talk about that.
Let's do a few others before we do that. How's that?
I am livid.
Okay. That's cool. I do like the that the feet, the talons are an orange.
Yeah,
so that's kind of nice.
This is definitely a much tamer looking release because it looks like a regular pigeon versus the crazy color one of the first one.
I do like this one a lot, the mono one.
It's cool. But before we get to the Fool's Paradise Kobe figure, which I definitely want to talk about, let's talk about this project right here.
Oh, okay.
Scott, I especially kind of want to get your take on it because you've done a lot of Dunnies. You worked a lot with Kid Robot. This is called the Doodle Boy, 8-inch Dunny from Joe Walsh, aka Doodle Boy. First of all, Doodle Boy, is he like popular? Does anybody like know a lot about him?
I don't know much. He has over 100,000 Instagram followers, so he's at least
Right.
moderately popular.
Okay.
I mean,
And
he's
this is being crowdfunded. This is kind of like what, a Kickstarter
Yeah.
thing or what?
Yeah.
So this is something I didn't know existed until I read the information yesterday, which is this is being sort of crowdfunded on Loot Launcher, which is Loot Crate's sort of vaguely Kickstarter-ish concept, which is, so in this case, they have to receive 300 orders for this by May 24th, essentially a month. It launched on April 24th. Otherwise it won't get made. So it's sort of like crowdfunding.
Oh, it's the same thing that they did to Gary Ham, isn't it? The large piece.
Yeah, maybe, except that wasn't on like Loot Launcher, but similar idea. Yeah. And the link here is that Loot Crate and Kid Robot are both owned by NECA.
The Loot Crate thing.
Yes, correct. Scott, what's your take on this? Being one of the guys here that has actually designed multiple dunnies for Kid Robot. What's your take on this?
So it's a two-part thing. So
Thank you for that input, Scott. That was great. So,
okay, next. No,
I'm
so the
kidding.
one thing I wasn't sure what was going on with this piece, and then I looked up because it's like a 10-year-old kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm all for like young artists getting into the scene. I mean, obviously, like I did a Kid Robot toy with my kids. We did the My Little Pizza figure. So it was
Sold out so quickly at Designer Con.
Stop it. Oh, Ben. So I'm all for like, introducing like, younger people into the scene and everything. I think the design is fun. I mean, I like the two color thing, and like there's a definite style going on. The only thing I'm not sure of is if this is like sort of is this going to be a thing for Kid Robot to do these crowdfunded things, or is this just like a one-off? Because I almost feel like if this were something I was in control of, I would launch it as like the first of many, because
Right.
I think right now it's just kind of feels like, without not knowing, kind of feels like, okay, so maybe they don't believe in the design, or maybe they're not sure about it. But again, that's all speculation. I think that it should be like, hey, we're starting this new crowdfunded thing with Kid Robot, and this is the first one.
Right.
Do you think
Right.
eventually it'll get to the point where people can actually submit their own designs, and if 300 or more people like it, they'll actually make it?
Yeah, and maybe that'd be part of the program. Maybe they would, actually launch it as a thing, instead of like, this kind of feels like an experiment. And maybe their plan is to do that. I don't know. I haven't really dove much into what this is about. It's just I saw it and read a little bit about it. But it could be fun. I mean, I like the idea that you said about submissions, and like a winning design, gets a toy, that type of thing. Those are always fun, and it gets people excited, and it gets people more involved. And and the thing that you don't see anymore, or very little of anymore, are just like customs, like customizing like shows and stuff like that. And doing this could like potentially just get more of the custom people, more people involved.
Be a bridge between those two things.
Yeah, because that aspect of designer toys, I feel like, has kind of gone away. And it's weird because like, so 2 years ago, when we did the Shard show at Designer Con, just walking around, there were very few custom shows at all. And that your convention is huge. And, designer toys is a staple of Designer Con. And like, it just feels kind of weird, especially like when you think of the early 2000s, mid 2000s, where like making customs was huge. And now it's always there are people doing customs, don't get me wrong, but you mostly see stuff on like their Instagram posts or whatever of like what they're doing. There's no like shows, and there's no like new people, fresh blood coming into it, contributing, or at least it doesn't feel that way.
Right. Mr. Scott Z over there, what's your take on this? Are you a Dunny fan?
I think it's going to be a more and more common route of manufacturers to keep their money close, to make sure they're not going to pour money into something unless they know they're going to get a return. And something like this is an example of that. They're not enough sure of this artist to make that toy production and just let the wheels go where they may. They want to make sure they hit enough orders that they're not going to lose money. And it's a good way for companies to kickstart stuff. But then like McFarlane did his Spawn Kickstarter, and there was no point to that except Kickstarter was used as a commercial
Right.
for his toy
Yeah.
because he broke his orders in 10 minutes of it being live, and he's already 10 times his initial amount he needed. He didn't need to kickstart that. He used
Just publicity.
Kickstarter as a promotional vehicle.
Right.
Which is fine.
Yeah, a lot of people.
And that's where I think this might also just be a bit of a commercial. Like the numbers they want ordered isn't all that large for both Kid Robot and Loot Crate to be going in on a project, and they only need X amount of orders. That's a low number.
Yeah, I think they're just testing out that system, maybe.
Yeah, it is a pretty low number, 300.
Yeah, but it is a very simple design. It's a single color pad print. So
Yeah,
It's pretty affordable too, $59.99 for an 8-inch, which
Yeah.
I think reflects that complexity or
design.
lack of.
so let's talk about
there we
these
go.
guys right here.
Jeez.
Fool's Paradise coming out with Legends.
I feel the knives coming.
All right, can I go first,
called-
real quick?
It's called what is it? 824.
Yeah.
824. The figure is
Uh-huh.
called 824. Legends 824.
Yep.
Clearly not using the Kobe name. Clearly not using the Laker name. Clearly this is not a licensed figure. There is no royalties being done. Nothing at all. This is, call it a tribute figure. Call it a bootleg figure.
We should go to their page because I went off on them.
So what do you guys think about this?
Well, here let me go real quick because I'm sure Scott's a huge Lakers fan as well, but I'm like, I never really comment on things like this. I was talking to Jack and Tracy and Kano about it. I never do that, because I'm on both sides of this thing, right? I've been a reseller. I am a reseller. I'm producer, whatever, right? All this with you, Designer Con 3D Retro. So I keep my comments pretty neutral most of the time right now. But I just went off on this because there's no license, first of all, and it looks like shit. Other than the back, it looks like shit. And there's no license, there's no permission from Vanessa Bryant and the Kobe Foundation, right?
You don't like it, you're not happy with this, you don't like
there's no permission from the NBA, there's no permission from anybody, Lakers, nobody. And they're using the Adidas shoes because they can't get Nike really to do anything. And they're using Jordans because why? Because he was a free agent, because he doesn't have any, shoe contract at the time. And looking at the shoes, if you're gonna use Jordans, that's the wrong freaking shoe to use. He wore the 3s and he wore the 8s. Why the Concord 11, right? So if you're just looking at it all wrong, and then like Legends and Mamba, there's like, this whole thing is just a cash grab. It's not really a tribute, It's like, hey, Kobe's hot, everything's hot. Sneakers are going 10 times what it used to be. The day he passed away, all my shoes sold for a ton of money. And I pulled all that back and canceled all the orders, right? So I'm not selling any Kobe shoes. People are still asking me for them. But no.
Now, I have something to point out. Looking at the sculpt and looking at his shorts.
You stole my thunder. I was next.
Yeah. It's like
I was next.
Like, do those shorts normally billow like that in the wind, or does he
No.
have an enormous schlong in those shorts?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
the
a
sculpt
huge.
is disgusting.
It's the folds. The folds on the
Yeah.
the tension lines on the shorts are way off. Like on the left side, it's pulling from the bottom and the top for some reason, and then on that right leg, that just poofiness is
No, you mean his third leg under those shorts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
From-
boy.
Yeah. So it's weird.
Like, is there another version of these statues we can buy the X-rated version without the shorts? Like, did the shorts come off?
Those cost more.
No, from
Okay.
a sculpt standpoint, the top is fine. Like the jersey looks fine, but like the shorts just look like mush. Like it looks like they didn't use any reference, or the back is fine, I guess. So I saw an earlier version of this, and it didn't say Legends on the front. It said Snakers. Did anyone else see that? Okay.
Yeah.
So they just changed that.
Oh, yeah.
They did.
It said Snakers on the front instead of Legends.
Yeah.
Sneakers or Snakers?
Snakers. Like
Snakers.
Mamba Snake.
Like Mamba
Lakers.
Snake. It
So
said
not
Snakers.
Lakers, but Snakers.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's got a snake in his pants. You can see it right there.
Yeah, this isn't for me. It's a hard pass.
Now, do you guys think that the one that they're showing here, and Scott Z, this is more, I guess you can answer this because you deal with this a lot. Is this a digital 3D print that's been painted based on like some of these lines that we're seeing, like on the arms and on the face and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, that looks like a prototype because you can see that's
The
a
build
decal
lines.
and not a tempo.
Yeah, you can see some of the build lines in the texture too on the
Yeah.
arm.
Like right there's a build line.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So they took these just to kind of like take initial images.
Taking orders.
Right. So does anyone like it here? Would anyone buy it, or are all of you guys
No,
like, no?
I would buy the ones where he's not wearing shorts, just as like a conversation piece. You're like, wow, I didn't know Kobe. Oh yeah, that's a scan from a
That's
real
Mamba right there.
real life scan.
You guys.
You're the one that's bringing us this pornography. I'm just commenting on it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, the reception has been kind of mixed, at least on the Instagram. Some people seem to be into it. But I can see lots of reasons why people, I mean, apart from what Kevin was saying about it being unlicensed, I think, which is absolutely true, I think, the toy itself, like the sculpt, is a little odd, right? Even if you look at the head in proportion to like the arms and the chest, it's a little odd.
Right.
Yeah,
And it's
so
being sold as a 2-pack, and I believe the 2-pack is being sold for 400.
Wow.
yeah,
So
yeah, that's
I
right.
have no problem with it. Like we looked into it, right? Jack and I on Sunday night, we looked into it. They released another figure, right? David Beckham. I have no issue with that. If you're gonna do something in license, every artist does, right? Not every artist is gonna get a license to do their interpretation of a famous person. Now, David Beckham is not dead. That's the thing. Kobe is dead, and you're doing it like what? That is not okay.
So it's okay to do it if the person is still alive?
I think it's also a timing
As an
thing about
artistic
just
expression,
recently.
yes, you can do something, because look, everything. If you sell a piece of art, right? If you sell a piece of art in your illustration, is okay. But this is literally, it's not, because there's no artist attached to it, no nothing, right?
Well, I think the thing is, Fool's Paradise, like they do all unlicensed stuff. Like they do all like pop culture stuff unlicensed. So not to, I'm not giving them a pass at all, but I'm saying that like they do that. So, but
that's why I was okay with David Beckham, but just the Kobe, for my personal taste, is not okay.
Well, it does feel like a cash grab, because it's still like for hardcore Laker fans, it's still very real. I mean,
right?
Like his death, like it's still, for me, it's still very like, what? Like I have days where I can't believe it. So, and when you see like people pumping out stuff like this, it's like, okay, well, are you really a fan? You like start questioning like what their intentions are.
Right,
For sure.
Exactly. Especially, all the tribute came out right afterwards, after his death. But my thing is, like, they're doing it. Not everybody is a hardcore Lakers fan, right? So for everyday people, they might find this on the internet and they might buy it. So it's like,
It doesn't say Lakers, it says Legends. And
right, they don't say anything, right? It's not licensed anywhere. So
But some people may buy because it is a bootleg. It is something that's
Yep.
not really like, you know, and people.
There's certainly an appeal for that from
Right.
some people. Absolutely.
While we're on
No,
the
Certainly
about this
that
one.
third leg is wearing a boot under those shorts.
while we're on the subject of toy news, Scott, you actually run a website which we're showing right now called Toy Wizards.
Yes, I am a newsman for Toy Wizards. We do toy news about every day,
mhm.
and we're constantly writing articles about anything that we can find interesting.
So you do this with your partner. I believe her name is Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren Stone's my editor in chief, and me and her have got a couple writers and a couple other partners in Toy Wizards, and we make this website. It's a
Nice.
lot of fun. It's a labor of love. It covers its server costs, but I'm happy to be a reporter and reporting toy news. It's kind of neat.
Now, a lot of the toys that you report, like Vinyl Pulse, great source for art figures, art toys, all that good stuff.
We should steal more from you. Thank you.
touches sometimes the mainstream stuff, but you talk a lot about the mainstream toys, like for instance, we see here the Lego and the Pop. Are you more into the mainstream stuff, or like what's some of the, or would you even say like what's some of the more impressive stuff that you've seen coming out?
You know, we'll talk about anything that we think is interesting. You know, any kind of news. We're scrounging every day for news articles like what got mentioned and maybe wasn't promoted very well, or maybe people don't know. Like there's a Spy Monkey with their Battle Tribes Wave 21, and that was a whole new wave of figures for Battle Tribes. You know, where they've been doing that same figure but in different types of styles, and now they're doing ninjas and not Chuck Norris and not Snake Eyes, which I just loved, and I bought them all for a review I'm going to do later this week.
What is
Or
this?
here we're covering Ghostbusters because they're at Walmart's right now. You read that article, they were released like 3 days ago. You're already late. They're sold out.
What?
They're at Walmart. There they are. Fantastic.
Wow,
Well, those are cool.
Those are cool. I do
Yeah.
like them.
So, I mean, we cover a lot of toy news, and we cover stuff that, you know, I write articles that I want to write. I want to write about, sometimes I do retro toys like, you know, Micronauts. I did a little review of old Micronaut toys from the 70s. Or we'll do reviews on, here we go. Dime Novel Legends, which do just like G.I. Joe compatible Wild West figures.
Oh,
And they sent us some figures to review, and they're fantastic. Like, I would love these cowboy figures to like be right there with my G.I. Joes. And they did a really diverse line, and we go through it, whatever that toy
That's
may
cool.
be.
That is really neat.
Yeah, in fact, on my review table is 1,000 Toys, and they did these Mospeeder Riders, which was like the third generation of Robotech, for those of you that don't know the Japanese counterpart. And I was in their Japanese office reviewing Harmageddon toy, and I used one of those Mospedas as reference of how well they make figures. Their 1/12 scale figures are just phenomenal. The articulation, the mobility of their bodysuits is just superb. And they made a Mosspeda guy that has armor that transforms and goes onto him. I talked about it so much, they're like, okay, here, you can have one. Thank you. Review that on your site. And so that's like a review I can't wait to do, is to photograph it, get it out of the box, do a video review. And that's a lot of entertainment, a lot of fun. And then if I can help spread that word to somebody that goes, oh, I saw that, but I wasn't sure if it was good. Since you covered it, I'm going to go ahead and buy that. And that's fabulous whenever I get those responses.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, we're coming to the end of our hour here, so I want to open it up. Like, for those people watching live, it says that we actually have 14 people watching live.
Nice.
The chat is open. If you have any questions for Scott number 1 and Scott number 2, if you have any questions for
Which one? Who's 1 and 2?
I'm not going to say which one's 1 and which one's
Oh,
2.
great.
I'll let the audience decide. But aside from that, while we're waiting for questions, guys, is there anything else that you guys want to mention or say before we wrap it up for this week?
Yeah. So someone asked Django 60617 was asking about Chicago shows. I mean, there really aren't any shows going on now, but he was asking about like Chicago art toy shows. I mean, I don't think there are really any art toy shows specifically in Chicago in terms of conventions. There's always Rotofuji, which is an awesome store in Chicago, but in terms of shows, ComplexCon typically does one in the summer in Chicago, and there are some art toys there. So maybe for next year, that's something to look forward to.
There you go. Scott, you were going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm going to be on, I'm going to take over DesignerCon live feed on Friday. So catch me at 12 o'clock.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So, you guys are seeing my kitchen and stuff, but, my studio is always kind of a work in progress, but I'll be out there for that. And then kind of show you around my little place.
And that's on the Instagram. So make sure you.
Do you have all the mascot stuff? Do you have any mascot products, Vince's stuff?
Yeah, I have everything, but there's still some stuff I can't show. Maybe I'll sneak it in though. Nah, I wouldn't do that.
Why not? Show
All right, maybe I will. Some sneak peek Vincent DesignerCon product.
I like it. Okay, that works. I love it.
We can do that.
Mr. Zilner, anything to mention to our fans and audience?
You can always catch me every week on Toy Wizards. It's toy-wizards.com. And then follow my conventions as well. And that's a whole bunch of them. So you can find those at Troublemakers.
Hopefully we can have you back on the show, since it doesn't mean coming into the studio or doing anything. We don't even know if you're wearing pants right now. So,
I am not. I'm only wearing the shirt.
I don't think
Totally.
He looks like that Kobe figure from Waist Below.
This is why I was interested if you can get those without shorts. I just want to know that.
It's not Kobe, it's Legends, Scott.
Snakers.
Yeah, that's a legend in his pants.
Well, his name on the back is Mamba, so the Mamba is in the.
Yeah, it's a black mamba.
Oh, when did we turn into an adult-oriented show? Well, let's see. We don't have any questions from the audience, so I guess we're going to wrap it up here. We want to thank everyone for watching. If you're not watching this live and you're watching this after the show, on our YouTube channel, then please leave some comments. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you'd like us to talk about. Tell us what you think about the Black Mamba Legends figure, if you're going to buy it or not. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And
that needs to be taken off the market.
Yeah, and like and subscribe. And it looks like we're just doing this every Wednesday. So hopefully you can join us next Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific time here on our channel, where we'll have more special guests and live things going on. So subscribe. Follow our Instagram at Toy Geeks BTC. Rolls right off the tongue, as George would say.
Sure does.
Main thing is stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll
wear a mask if you go outside.
Wear a mask when you're around Kevin, especially.
Yeah.
He's still gonna
6 feet away. Thank you.
Kevin's never gonna get laid. 6 feet away. Anyway,
did I hear what I just heard?
Anyways, guys, well, thank you to our guests, Scott and Scott. Thank you guys for coming on the show again. And, maybe you guys can join us again next week or the week after or something. And
enjoy these while we can, right? Because once we get back into the studio, it usually tapes once every 2 months. So we're going to get busy.
There's at least another year of these going on. So
Oh,
It might just be easier to do it this way. There's no.
It might be because we
Hey,
can bring on artists and people who never come on the show because
We can
they're
have guests
don't live
from
now.
anywhere in the world on the
Yeah.
show.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
Not just the greater Los Angeles area.
correct.
right.
we're gonna miss our post taping ritual.
We could still do that. Like right after this, we'll be able to actually go outside and do our post taping ritual.
That's true. That's true.
So there you go. All right, guys. Well, thank you again, and we hope to see you guys next week. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.